Hello again, it's Locknoob, and I cannot tell you how excited I am to be able to show you this lock adapter for hand picking Euro cylinders and rim cylinders. This design came from some old designs that I've been working on, and it was realised by Pete Restall, who has clearly has the woodworking skills to be able to realise some of my earlier designs on this concept. Um, I've seen other people try different things to try and make picking rim cylinders in particular and Euro cylinders a bit more comfortable in hand. I've looked at some of them, I've thought about it, and I came up with a very rough design um, like this. Now, clearly, you can see where I was going with it. Um, if you look at Pete Restall's version of this and my version, you can see some similarities. Actually, it's worth saying that if you don't know who Pete Restall is, then I'll be very surprised. But he is a good friend, an excellent picker, and another YouTuber. Please go check out Pete Restall on YouTube. Go check out his channel. He's got some really interesting videos, and he knows a lot about picking. And as you can see, he's also a great craftsman. And over the years, we've traded back and forth, and we've done some other little collaborations and chatted about various things. So yeah, this is just one of those things which has come out of our back and forth, and yeah, I really want to share that with you today. So anyway, back to the design. You can see where I was going with this. I can see that I was saying we need to cut the corners to make this nicer. We've got the Euro cylinder hole here. The difference, of course, is you'll see that in Pete's you have these extra spaces here. That's because a Euro cylinder should fit nicely in this one, and it should fit nicely in this one. Actually, much nicer in this one. And what I wanted to do is to be able to turn it over and then have the cutouts for your rim cylinder or your night latch, like this. There you go. I thought that's a clever design. Then at the back, what we'd hopefully do is put the screws which hold the rim cylinders indoors through here. But the amount of material that you have, especially in wood and probably also in metal, would just not really be strong enough. So Pete had a look at that design and came up with a solution, which is to basically keep the rim cylinder at the front. It works, so why would you change it? So yeah, you can see where I was going with this. And we've even tried to signify that we need some screw holes in here, so we can put grub screws in to hold the locks in tighter. And again, Pete was able to realise that. Yeah, I know the limitations of my skills and abilities, and plus I don't even have the tools to be able to do what Pete's able to do here. So I'm really am grateful for that work. So let me show you this design a bit more. Why have we done it? Well, picking Euro cylinders in hand, especially these small ones, can be quite difficult, and it can be quite fatiguing and on your hand to be able to hold this lock and tension at the same time. And yes, we can use vices, but I like to pick in a variety of places, sometimes where a desktop vice just isn't that practical. We are aware that Euro cylinders like this, where you've got a very small length of lock, can be difficult to hold in anything, especially a vice, because if you've got this clamped in a vice, you tend to foul the cam at the back. The aim with this is you just put this in here like this, and with a small one you can just hold it in hand, and that won't go anywhere because you're holding it with the fingers at the back. But we still have those grub screws which will allow you to just tighten this up. Only a small eighth of a turn, and that's not going anywhere anytime soon. It really does hold it in tighter than you would expect. And also, actually, I'll show you, I've got the key here. The cam at the back doesn't foul here because Pete has improved my design to include enough space for the cam to actually turn in the lock. I mean, that's brilliant. Enough to get an open, if not to go a full 360. I don't know what the movement is. It's definitely about 180 degrees, and that's more than enough to signify an open. Okay, so that's how the small Euro cylinders can be picked, and of course you can hold it whichever orientation you like to pick in, whichever is more comfortable. It's completely usable if you're left-handed or right-handed. So yeah, it's really great. So that's the small ones. They can be really tricky to vice up. With the large one, these are also really heavy. So again, you put it in through the back, and it's a reasonable size. And again, the cam will need to operate within. And because it's so heavy, you might want to actually put a grub screw tightening a little bit, just so that you can make sure it doesn't fall out, and it just makes it more comfortable to hold. And again, you can tension this and pick this in any orientation you like. You can pick it the what they call the wrong way up, or you can turn it around and put tension on, and pick it the right way around if you wish in hand. Okay, so better release that tension there. What else can I demonstrate? So demonstrated a full and a half. What about a snapped Euro cylinder? Well, with these, it really doesn't matter about the length. You can even go in this way around, slide in, and you can pick it. There's no cam on the back, so it just doesn't matter. So that snap Euro cylinder's perfect for this. And pull that out. Ooh. Come here. Okay. Okay. So what about those pesky rim cylinders or night latches? Well, these are just a real pain to vice up, full stop, because I tend to have to sort of angle them in the vice so that they so the vice actually kind of crimps onto that angle there on one side. I find that holds them in relatively tight, but it's still a pain. To hold them in hand is really uncomfortable after a while. And again, you can just throw this in, and this holds it in really tight. I can get tension on this lock really comfortably, just like that. It's not going to go anywhere. But again, if you want to make it a bit more secure so it doesn't just drop out, there's two ways you can do it. One, you can put this little adapter over, and these screws, which are just cut down versions of the ones you get with the night latch, can go on here. You screw those screws into the lock, and the back plate will hold the whole thing completely tight. You could also use the grub screws at the back to bite into the Bible. So if you see the screws there just coming through the wood, there we go. They are just able to bite at the Bible at the back, and that will hold it in tightly as well. Now, this is clearly the second prototype, and it's a working prototype. Pete said to me, give him some feedback and let's see what we can do for the next prototype. And I think with that, the only thing I'd say is maybe move these grub screws further forwards and put those special metal surrounds which are able to take a grub screw in. So you screw in basically this metal grommet or something like that in here, and then that's got a hole in the middle for the grub screw to go through, and that would of course give you a lot more sort of strength, so that you wouldn't be weakening the wood or wearing the wood away as you use the grub screws throughout its lifespan. So really, I mean, this works so well. That's the only improvement that I personally can think of, which is just to make these grub screw holes maybe a little lower and a little further to the front, so that they can tighten on to the Bible of these rim cylinders, which would negate the need to use a back plate, it's not back plate, wherever the back plate at all. Other than that, this is a near perfect realisation of my original plans, and in many ways an improvement. So again, Pete, Restall, thank you so much for your effort and time on this. It's really brilliant. I couldn't have asked for anything better, really. It's a perfect way to handhold a Euro or a rim cylinder in your hand and do some picking. Another thing, actually, which was part of our original thoughts, almost forgot about it, is that you can actually put this in a vise. So for those pesky single Euro cylinders with a cam, like this one, where if you vice it up, it would foul the cam, stop the lock from being opened. Again, this will provide a way to hold it in a vise gently and for you to be able to pick it. So yeah, I hope that you really like this design. Please do comment below. As far as I'm concerned, this is pretty much solves that whole how do I comfortably pick Euros and rim cylinders in the hand conundrum. But if you have any suggestions or for improvements, yeah, please let us know. Shove something in the comments. We're not precious about it. We want something that's a good design, a good practical design, something which isn't complicated, something which you could see being used in people's kits. All right, hope you found that interesting. Go check out Pete Restall's channel, and I will see everybody next time.